Hey guys, Snarky Entertainment System. This is my Haven Call the King Let's Play, and this is part 19, the logical follow-up to part 18. Anyway, I told you guys that I was going to check out the interwebs to find out what the first game to use a double jump was, and my research, though it wasn't very extensive, led me to the video game Dragon Buster for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So, yeah, again, I didn't research it too extensively, but there seems to be some sort of consensus that that was the first, at least known example. So, there you go. Check it out if you want. It doesn't look, you know, like the best game ever, but I guess there are worse looking games out there. You know, maybe it's on Virtual NES. That's a good website. Virtual NES. I'm really glad that's a thing, because being able to play NES games on a web browser is actually a really nice commodity. Anyway, what I wanted to say in this episode is, while I'm continuing my search for cogs and finishing up this volcano part, you may have noticed, and I may or may not have mentioned, that this game is fairly linear. You know, you go through, you go one level at a time, and, well, you get to the end, you follow one straight path. Like, you know, Uncharted and a bunch of other games, really. You just follow one straight path, not much room to, you know, branch out, do your own thing. At the very end, there's a little bit of freedom to go and do your own groove thing, but the majority of the game is just like this. You know, you go to a level and then you platform around a little bit and you fight a boss and you're done. So, I know a lot of people complain about linearity, which kind of confuses me. Because, I mean, complaining about linearity in a game is like complaining that not all books are written in third-person omniscient voice. I mean, you know, some games, you know, it makes more sense for them to be linear. Now, I understand certain games, you know, they would fit better if they were non-linear. If they had, you know, more freedom in the gameplay, or something like that. But for this game, you know, for one thing, I think that this game actually benefits from being linear. I think that it lends itself more to the, you know, action genre. It's basically trying to be an action movie. You can just play it, and I think it actually succeeds at that pretty well. I mean, look at Uncharted. I mean, I can understand some of the cases that maybe people would want that to be less linear, but I think that, just as well as this game, works in its linear fashion. I think it succeeds because you are on this set path that, you know, you're Nathan Drake going from place to place, you're just shooting a bunch of stuff, you know, all of the extensive research in between. Maybe it works in games like Mass Effect where you can go between planets and have extensive conversations and such, but for games like this, for games like Uncharted, I think, you know, I think it works. And, you know, you can't always have if you really like blueberry pie, you can't complain when your host gives you cherry pie. You can't say, oh, I wanted blueberry pie, now I hate you, and I'm never going to come over again. Or, like my prior example, you know, you can't complain when not everything, if you really like third-person books, if you don't like the first person that much, you can't complain that some people like to write in first person. Like, The Hunger Games, that's written in first person. And while I'm at it, you know, a lot of people complain about The Hunger Games being in first person, also the fact that it's first person present. A lot of people complain and are like, oh, it's in first person present, so you know she's not gonna die. Okay, yeah, sure, that's a fact, I guess, but that doesn't really seem like a logical complaint to me. That just seems like a complaint that one person started saying, and it caught on with a lot of people because they wanted a reason, just a reason. But the thing is, you know, there are plenty of, you know, things in fiction where we already know what's going to happen in the end, but yet we still just stick around with it because it's, you know, entertaining to watch anyways. Besides, sometimes things can throw us for a loop. I mean, Harry Potter, take that for instance. We knew there were going to be 7 books in that series, so it's pretty safe to assume that Harry's not going to be killed off for good 3/7 of the way through the series. And guess what? He still did die, that's the thing. I mean, sure, he came back, but in the series called Harry Potter died. Or, you know, sorry, that was a spoiler alert, I'm gonna mention another spoiler. In Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know, she dies. I mean, she comes back, but yeah, she dies. You can't always tell what's gonna happen. Now, in the Hunger Games, it's a little bit more of a tricky, you know, thing, because it's a trilogy, everybody knows it's a trilogy, so reading the first book, you already have, you know, some sort of foregone conclusion that she's, you know, not gonna die. But that's not where the entertainment value comes from, I believe. The entertainment value comes from knowing what's going to happen next. You don't necessarily know that, or if you do, then, or if you say that you do, then you're just some pretentious dipshit. Sorry if I'm offending anyone. It's just, you know, people come up with reasons not to take chances on things, and sometimes it really annoys me. Just because you've heard one band in a particular genre of music that you don't like doesn't mean that every band in that genre of music is, you know, bad at what they do. And that doesn't make them bad musicians either if it's just not your cup of tea. I take issue with this topic sometimes. Because, I mean, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, we know that, you know, Aragorn's gonna take the throne just because of the title. We still enjoy it because it's a freaking great series. Anyway, that's my soapbox for today. That's the end of the volcano part, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya!